Hello and welcome to Stir Crazy Art Class with Gerald Savine, lesson number 35. Today we're going to finish off the painting of the ducks. Again, hopefully we can get it all done, but if not, you can refer to the pictures and things yourself and finish off. Now what I'm going to do first of all, I've put some more colour in the browns to start off with. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some grey colouring in for the shadows on the birds. Okay, they are really white birds, but the light's coming from the left. So I'm going to start with the one at the back. We've got the shadow underneath here. I'll perhaps make it a little bit stronger. Again here, unfortunately, because it's not my Payne's grey, I've mixed up the ultramarine blue and burnt umber. I'm putting a thin coat on to start off with. Do it quickly as I can. It's not as nice as the Payne's grey, I'm afraid. But it's a thin undercoat to start off with, keeping it light. Hopefully some of this you might not see so well, but hopefully by the time we get round you'll be able to see as I go back over them. Just a little bit more colouring in, a bit more pigment in. Again under here. But again, when we come round, careful round the other birds, because that way you're outlining. Can you see? Hopefully you can see how I'm putting the shadows on, and how it helps describe the shape of the animal. Again, I'll do this nice and quickly as I can. What you'll have to do again is refer, and I'll show you again before we finish, the original painting is working from, so that you can get it finished off yourself. You get shadow from one bird against the other. But again, you can see this begins to help to pull out the shapes of the creatures. Ducks are lovely characters, so we get a lot of them down by the river where we have the studio, and they even sometimes come walking into the studio, cheeky things that they are. And it's quite characterful animals. And again, I'm working my way down from the back towards the front, being careful here because we still want the white at the top of the tray to show up. And here I'm just going to work my way around, a bit more colour there. So again here I've got this one with ruffled up feathers. If you've got the original, seen the photograph in the first lesson to do with this painting, you will see the original photograph with the animals, with this particular one in the bowl. It ruffled up its feathers, and its chest is sticking out there. So it's going quite quickly, which is good. Okay, this character here has got its head down into the bowl. So this is that's good. We're getting it done quite quickly now. So the other thing I suggest is if you look at my website, you can see some more things there to help you. And if you'd like to contact me, there's an email, there's a contact information on that. Hopefully the top ones have dried off a bit. Now I'm going to add a bit more pigment into the grey, and I'm just going to a bit more. Can you see how that's working? Just a little touch here and there, and again here, just to help the outlining of the duck in front. Can you see again how that's just picking up? And again we'll put a bit more colour under its tail here. Again, this is the original mix of the brown and the blue. A bit under here as well. Now to try and do this fairly quickly, because what I want to do is show you, we'll get one of these dried, and then we can outline characters. And here we can, by going a bit darker here, we can show the tail feathers of the bird in front. Now I think because of times, I don't want the time to go too quickly, but time does. I think we're alright for the moment. So my dear wife will tell me when we're not. Again here, because this one's further back, I'll put a bit more colour in to help the ones in front show up a bit more. And again here we can bring the colour around to show the shape of the animal. Now what I'm going to do, I know this is jumping the gun a little bit, but again, as I've always said, you take a bit more time. I'm going to do this very, very quickly now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some quite thick colour now. Again, this is the blue and the burnt umber. So it's giving us a dark colour. I'm just going to put a little bit more of the original mix. So this can be slightly browner than the shadows we've been putting on. I'm going to go for a finer brush. I'm going to use a number 4 to give us some lining. So I'm going to show you just how we can, hopefully this will be all right. I'm going to use the duck at the back for this. A bit more, I'm not sure I like that. Just pinch the end of the brush, colour on the end of the brush. Dark like that, see there's its eye. And again, by pinching the end of the brush, we get it nice and thin, and we can then put in, can you see how, you can see that line, there's nose, nostril there. And then we can also paint, can you see that, how that's worked out like that? And then using the, again, to line the shape of the animal. Don't have to go all the way around, but again, I just pinch the brush just to give a bit of lining. If you've got a smaller brush than number 4, then it'd be a bit better still. And this is a little bit, I should have perhaps gone with a slightly thinner brush, but there. Again, can you sort of just see that little bit of extra light? I don't have to draw all the way around the animal, but just a bit of colouring going in helps to give a bit of shape to the character. And then you've got this other one here, this tail of this other one duck that's here, this one over here. Again here with this bit of darker colouring for its eye, and here its little feathers on its neck are a bit roughed up. So again we just sort of do that, and again we can work our brush around, tip of the brush around its head. Again putting in the lines for the beak. So just those little bits help to give a bit of detail, but again don't just go all the way around. We want to leave a little bit of character in the painting itself. Excuse me. I think we've only got about 3 minutes left, I think, is it? 5 minutes left. Oh, that's good. A little bit more then. So we can go a bit darker under here. Now again here, we can just go under here, thin the colour down a bit, but it's a stronger colour. And can you see how it's given a bit more definition to this bird in front? And again here, we can come round. Let's get its eye going. With the colour around there. So if you use a thinner brush, then you get a gentler line. But again, I find, excuse me, with these. Oh dear, do beg your pardon. I'll try and get this little character done as quick as I can, because it's a bit more interesting And we've got his legs down here as well, his feet. So we've got a leg coming down there. So all these little things help to just give a bit more solidity to the painting, so you can sort of see the characters. But again, you don't have to go all the way around. The colour, background colour here, gives the shape. This just helps to split it up. Again, we'll just show you where the wings come. Again, you can be a bit more gentle with your brush strokes than I'm being. Let's pinch the brush again, put more of the colour on the tip of the brush. Oh, it's rather a lot. You can see I've made a mess over here. Can't take me anywhere. Again here, using the edge of the brush, we can get the beak working. I think what we'll do is I'll just get the beak of this character going as well. Again, his little eyes into there. Just pop those eyes into that one as well. Again here, not overdoing it, but just kind of bring the colour around. Just to give a bit more separation between the animals. But as I say, we don't necessarily want to be. We want to let the colour itself give some of the shape as well. And you can do big wonderful thing I think about painting. You know, you can do all sorts of things. But again, say here, we're just not going to overdo the colouring. But this got time just to get some of the colouring onto that. So, but the shadow itself, it helps to give some of it. Again, we won't have time to do too much. You can flip round some of the colour here. Just give a feeling for the feathers being ruffled up. Again, just making sure the brush is quite thin. Make sure you see you've got the fatness of the brush there, and by pinching it, you get a nice thin line. So again, here we can come round and help describe the wing. Just some of the colouring under here. I'd actually used a bit more shading down the bottom here on this duck. I'll just do a little bit more of that now with the other colour. I think we've got a little burnt umber in places again here, just to help. And again under here as well, we can bring a bit more shadow around underneath this duck, and from the bowl itself. So I'm going to just tickle in some other bits and pieces here. Not exactly the same as the original one. We're getting towards the end of the time now, I believe. What I was going to do was just a bit of the darker brown on some of this birds as well. Right, okay, we've just got a minute to go, so I'm just going to stop now, just to show you again the original picture to help you. And I will have to say goodbye for now, because again, unfortunately the telephone's ringing. So see you.